So after running at Carolina Motorsports Park, my brakes on my BMW, the front rotor, the front calipers basically said it's time to quit. Has 168,000 miles, so I mean they did good. So to upgrade, I went ahead and did what a lot of people do, is I got the 335i brakes. So I just mocked up everything real quick to make sure it would fit, and as you can see, it fits, but it is tight. I mean, it's like 1 millimeter spacing in between. It is very, very tight, but it does fit. So I'm gonna start working on putting everything permanently now and put the new pads and everything. So a little bit of information. I'll give you some information on the brakes, and we'll go through the process of putting them on and all that stuff. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so this is my old setup. 120i brakes, 120i rotor, pads. These are the StopTech 309s. They have done 4 track days and all, about 20,000 miles, and it's starting to have a little bit of wear, but not terrible. They lasted pretty good. They still have, you know, some life left. The rears, different story, but we're not worried about the rears today. So here is the 335i pad, which is very, very similar in size. A little bit bigger than the 128, but not a whole lot bigger. But the big difference is the rotor. This one is a 380 millimeter, I believe. Not quite sure what the size of this is, but I'll put it on the screen, but definitely a lot lower. So from what I hear is, yes, you'll have a little bit more clamping force also, but the heat will dissipate a lot better. And these are just regular 335i. You can get I believe it's the Z4, which are the 2-piece with the aluminum hats, and they're a lot lighter, but for keeping it cheap, I'm gonna go with this. So I sourced most of this from Facebook Marketplace. Calipers, I got both of them for $60 from a 2011 335i. Then I picked up a whole set of rotors, front and rear, which I don't really use the rears, but whatever, and brake pads for $230. So for $290, I got the whole setup plus some brake fluid. It's not bad, so I'm excited to try it on and see how it works. So we're gonna get started, but there you go. This is what you need. You need the caliper. Make sure you have the carrier, you know, the bracket for the caliper. That is required, because you cannot use the one for the 128, smaller. So yeah, caliper, the carrier bracket, and the rotor itself, which is a lot bigger than the 128 rotor. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll walk you through the process. It's very simple. It's just take it off, put it on. Not a whole lot to it. The most important part is making sure you have everything. Let's go over some tools you would need. Hand towels, of course, to clean the mess up. Ratchets, depending, I have 2 different sizes. Torque wrench, use it, you know, things, torque them down. There's a torque value. Don't be lazy. Don't just give it ugga-duggas. Proper torque, make things a lot easier, especially when coming off. You will need these guys here. So they're basically Allen keys. You will need a number 6 and a number 7. 14 millimeter for the brake lines. Mine's are that size. They're stainless steel. Yours might be different, but they're 14 millimeter, and 18 millimeter for the carrier bolts. Screwdriver, impact gun, 17 for the wheels. Yours might vary, but that's all you'll need. So let's get started. Also, something to catch the fluid with, so you don't spill it. You know, protect the environment and stuff. So be nice. I'm gonna go ahead and take the wheel off. Got Apex arc gates on mine, so they are 17 millimeters. Buzz these off real quick. So your first step is going to be to get the caliper off and the line. The way I did mine is, sorry about the lighting, but it is what it is. I just loosened it and I spun the caliper until it came off. I don't really want to take the whole thing. Hey buddy, you gonna help me? You gonna help me? Woo. So you can take it from here and, you know, just do the whole thing, but I just took it from the line right there and twisted the caliper, twisted the new one on, and just finally gave it a little torque, so I didn't have to disconnect the whole thing. Just makes it easier for me personally. You might vary, you can do it whichever way you want. So first step, let's get the caliper off, and then we'll get the rotor off, and we'll just swap it real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the caliper off. It's an 18 millimeter. Just gonna use the impact to loosen it. It's gonna try that again. It's gonna be a little loud. There she goes. The upper. The upper I won't be able to get with the impact, so I'm gonna have to use old brute force. So let me get set up for that. Alright, let's see if it'll come off. Yeah, we're gonna have to get the little extension cheater bar, so we'll get it off, but you get the idea. 18 millimeter, get that bolt off, and then the whole caliper comes off. Extension. There's the caliper, got it supported there. Next we're going to take the rotor off, loosen this guy, which would be the 6 millimeter. Take it off, put the 335 rotor, and swap the caliper with the other one. So, and I got the line loose right there, the brake line, and then I just turn the whole caliper. I'll try and get it on video, maybe not. Turn the whole caliper, get the new one, turn the whole thing on, and then put it on. Not too bad. But yeah, let's carry on, continue. We're almost done. All right, see ya. 6 millimeter, right in there. Quick little buzz, take it off. Careful not to strip it. I know I didn't put it too tight, so it should be all right. Put this on low. Right, see if it'll come out slowly. There it goes, nice and easy. All right, let's continue. Get the other rotor on, clean everything up, put the other rotor on, and that's it. All right. So for science and for fun, let's get some weights. So 128i caliper. Looks like 12.8 pounds. Then 335i caliper. 14.6 to 2.2 pounds heavier. So we gained a little bit of weight there. Let's see the rotors. Try to get it on there. Good. It died on me. Alright, 0, 0. 17.6 for the 128i rotor. Alright, this is gonna be tricky. Let's see. 23, 24. So 24, so basically 7 pounds heavier on the rotor. So yeah, you gain a little bit of weight, but I offset it by running the Apex Arcade wheel, so I lost weight overall. Eventually, yeah, I'll go with the Z4 rotors. There we go, got it started. Now I just gotta turn the caliper as it goes in, and just keep going. So get it snug, and then once you get it snug, then you're good. Alright, there we go. It's installed. Alright, well, I didn't get this step on video, but I just put the rotor back on. Put a little bit, some grease on there. Anti-seize compound. And then put the bolt back in. Some people don't put it. You can if you want to. I put it on. Just don't over torque it. And then clean it up. And then we'll go to putting the carrier on. The caliper carrier and then the caliper. So, let's get started. So, there's the caliper carrier bracket. We're going to put that on. It's actually going to go like that. And they are these bolts, 18 millimeter, torque on them is 75 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Hopefully you guys can see. If you can't, sorry. This is the best I can do. So get these on. Alrighty, caliper's got the brake pads on. I cleaned it up. This guy's installed. It's got some grease on it. So we're gonna put the pads in here, and then that'll be it. We're good to go. Tighten the caliper guide bolts. I'll put the torque for those in the video somewhere, and then we'll be done, ready for bleeding. So let's get that on real quick. They are the 7mm, right there. So that's the one we're gonna use for it. So to get this guy on, I just gotta kind of look at it and make sure that it goes into the grooves. Kind of hard to do it with two hands, but go in, tighten them down, and that's it. So I'm not gonna record this because I'm gonna need both hands, but you get the idea. You're good, bro. Come here. Hey, buddy. Alright, so we got it started. So now I'm just tying them down, snug them right there. Then once we get them snug, then we're gonna go with the torque wrench. This one requires an extension, so put that guy on, snug it down. You can tell my line's not twisted, still same shape it was before. That's good. Alright, it's snug, so we're getting ready to torque it. I'll put the torque there in the video somewhere. I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's 20 something, but I'm not 100% sure. Here's a little tip if some of you guys want to do it. There's the brake sensor. Since I track my car and all that, I'm always checking the brake sensor. So I just took it out the way, make sure it wasn't worn out, and just zip tied it somewhere. That way, I don't need it to warn me when my brakes are low. I check my brakes frequently. That also saved me. That cable's like $20 something, so I don't need it. It's just a tip. If you want to do it, it's up to you. Like I said, it'll save you from when it wears out. You have to change it, so because if not, you get the brake warn code. So when it wears out, you got to change it. So just take it out the way, zip tie it, leave it connected, because that way, if you disconnect it, then it'll think it's bad and it'll give you the warning. So just leave it connected, put it aside there, zip tie it somewhere, and you'll be all right. All right, so there it is. This little retainer piece is back on. Brakes are secured. Rotor's clean. Continue to bleeding the brakes now, and that'll be it. So, pretty straightforward, not too bad, very easy. Well, just got back from my drive. I went to one of my favorite roads around this area that has some really good curves. I usually go there every time I'm testing something new in the car, so I know I'm pretty good and I can push the car. And initial thoughts, it did really good. Definitely, it grabs harder. The pedal does travel a little bit further, it does go a little bit further, but it does grab harder, and it does activate the ABS a little bit. I could hear it. So as long as I'm careful not to go too far, I stay out of the ABS, but I'm right on the threshold of it, like barely activating, barely not activating. So once you get that coated out, I'm sure I can make it a little bit better, but it did really good. I would say this is probably one of the easiest mods. It's basically almost the same as changing brakes, not a whole lot to it. I did go ahead and bleed it after. I used a Motu 600, which is what I normally run on this car. And even with these daily pads, it did good. I mean, I'm sure I can't wait to go to the track and try it with some real track pads, but it did really good. I'm happy with it. And it was maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 out of 10 difficulty. Super easy to do. But step one, next step is a oil cooler, and just for the hot summer track days, because I will need it here in Florida. But other than that, it was great. Car did good, and can't wait for the next one. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you later.